Hey everybody, Dauntless here, and welcome back to Decisions of Elders. I am trying to get through this game as quickly as possible now because I've kind of gotten to the point where, you know, I guess there's a part of me that's enjoying it because it's nice to play a game like this where it's an adventure game, but there's a part of me that's really frustrated because, like, oh, I just when I play Space Quest, I'm hoping to be there to be a little more Space Quest stuff about it, and this just it misses the mark so badly. There's an earthy spot near the fence. It feels earthy. Uh, it just doesn't feel like they really played the original games or got the point. But anyway, I will just continue playing. You are standing down here while the apples are hanging up there. You are not thinking that you can simply pick an apple, are you? Yeah. How bizarre! A coffin in the middle of a pasture and it's filled with an odd liquid. It's a trough and it's filled with water. Are you sure you want to wash your hands in a water mixed with cattle spit? No, I'd like to search it for items I can use. Just another mountain face. So there's really nothing I can do here yet. What do you think the trough is for? Right. Just because there's no grazing animal in this part of the pasture does not mean that there's not some raging bull south of here. It's a regular pasture fence. Okay, you throw your wrench randomly at the crown of the apple tree, hoping that you will hit just any... Say what? I am aiming at one specific apple. Fine, you aim for the most beautiful apple, throw your wrench, and hit the screen. I beg your pardon? All kidding aside, you hit one of the apples. For the price of your wrench, one apple is falling down. A worm used to live in the apple. While you are still admiring the beauty of the apple, the worm starts its escape attempt. The worm flees to the earthy spot near the fence and disappears in the soil. I could have caught it! Yes, but you didn't move. Because you didn't let me! You've missed the worm. End of discussion. Yeah, that sounds like how you should really do things. The apple is a single-person householder. You won't find another worm there. You cannot unearth the worm with your hands. The earth is too dry. You poke around pointlessly. You put the pliers in the cow pat. After a few minutes, the dung has dried completely. Your pliers now have a thick dung crust. Knowing the combination pliers are a combination of side-cutting pliers and flat pliers, you attempt to cut the pasture fence. Your pliers are insulated in a... Really, guys? Really? Did you just put language in this game? Come on! They were hitting every single wrong note on the way. You cut the fence without getting shocked. Happily, you notice that the loose wire ends are now hanging down to the dry, earthy spot below, and decide it's time to dispose of your smelly pliers. The worm, however, is not impressed by your actions and stays where it is. Wow, they really put a swear word in a Space Quest game. Like, I thought maybe they did that before, but I don't remember any, now that I think about it. Like, every time I think about it, I know that they've made allusions to stuff, but they've never actually had swearing in Space Quest. Whoever this was really didn't get the game at all. You fill your empty can with water from the trough. Yummy. I'd also like to say for the record that I'm starting to realize these puzzles are really easy. You water the dry earth. What do you say? The muddy earth is now conducting enough power to make this an uncomfortable hideaway for the worm. The worm emerges from the mud, crawls several inches, and then stops. The shock must have been too much for it. Don't get me wrong, the worm is still alive, as no animals have been harmed in this game. It's just exhausted. I need a container? Oh. You put the exhausted worm in your empty can. Okay, since you have found what the dock demanded, you buckle on your fueled jetpack again and start it. What a flight! May I keep the jetpack? No, it's a present from my uncle-nephew who lives in Ullens Flats on Corona. He's a smart boy. I bet he will eventually have a cheaper propellant for the jetpack. I just hope he will not pass on it. He will pass it on to his offsprings and not trade it for a motor vehicle or something. Well then, here you are. You return the jetpack to its rightful owner. Oh, wow, they're alluding to stuff. That must make the space quest. You've ordered a worm. Here you are, fresh and slimy. You give the hard-earned worm to Doc Black and keep the empty can. Ah, yummy! Did you just eat that worm? Sure, but you said you needed it for the wormhole. Yes, that's what I said. The truth is I wanted to see if you were really committed to the time travel. And now I'm going to punch you in the face. Besides, I needed someone to test the jetpack and see if it was safe. But the wormhole! Piece of cake! I finished that invention years ago. And now, to make sure that you won't meet your alter ego, we must calculate the correct length of time we want to send you back to the future. I can tell you the date of my crash landing. Not accurate enough. How long was the vine in front of the cave before you triggered the soldier's transporter? I guess it reached the bottom. Doc Black thinks a few milliseconds, then he reaches into his pocket and a wormhole appears out of thin air. Cool! So you finished this invention years ago. I bet you completed it just recently and traveled a few years back to tell your alter ego how to do it. For Christ's sakes, one must not mess with the space-time continuum. Without any warning or farewell, you are being sucked into the wormhole. Microseconds later, you land again on the plateau. The wormhole magically disappears, and you wonder if you have indeed traveled in time. Your alter ego has not yet taken Julia's message, a sign that he has not yet found a way to open the secret door at the other end of the tunnel. It's too dangerous. You might meet your alter ego and lose your mind. What do I got in my inventory? Oh! You place the empty can at the very same spot you had taken it from. I think you have corrected the failure in the space-time continuum just in time. The scenario is now ready for your alter ego. To avoid meeting yourself, you hide in a corner of the cave. You wait for a few minutes. You wait for more minutes. And finally, you fall asleep. A familiar yet strange event is taking place. You search the poor guy's armor. It feels very strange. The material this armor is made of has certainly not yet been invented. This guy is definitely from the future. While fumbling around in one of the inside pockets, you get hold of a metal gadget. You try to pull it out. While doing so, you accidentally activate it. Activate what? Did I just see myself over there? No. But I could swear that. Shut up and get ready for the next chapter. Okay, Cherry, your alter ego has just traveled back in time. You have obviously restored the timeline. What are you going to do next? Once more you search the alien soldier, this time much more carefully. You feel the device in one of the guy's inside pockets and pull it out without triggering it again. What's this? It looks like an iPhone 105C. I'm sure it sure has a home button and a cheap plastic shell, but it's a transporter. And not just any transporter, it's an I-transporter which you can travel through time and space with. Great, and I already know which time to go to. I simply changed the algebraic sign in the front of the time setting of the I-transporter. But what space coordinates? Don't complicate it. Oh, right. You press the home button and Do I still have time to take the soldier's gun? Certainly not, and don't interrupt me when I'm saying something dramatic. Where was I? Right. It's time to face the future. Energize! Part 3. Time for heroics. You wake up and find yourself in... Are you speaking with me? Yes, Julia, I am speaking with you. I thought it was time to bring some femininity into this game. I'm not dead then? No, you are not dead, although you are in one hell of a situation here, kidnapped by aliens, trapped in the future, and jailed in a brig on a Syrian ship. On your own, because your brothers, these sissies, are still... My brothers? Barry, Gary, Larry, guys, say something. Relax, Julia. Your sextuplet brothers are fine, more or less. These alien soldiers had stunned you all with their energy weapons before they kidnapped you. While your 6 brothers are still immobilized, you have already regained control over your body. Women are the strong gender, after all. Really? Then show me how strong you are when you're facing your adversary. Here you go. Well, look who's up. Welcome to the world of tomorrow, mother of all evil. Mother of what? Who are you? My name is irrelevant. What counts is what I do for the Empire. I am with the SIA, Syrian Intelligence Agency. Syrian Intelligence Agency? Too right. I am the head of the SIA subdivision PATME, prevention of by all temporal means. So you guys have kidnapped me to pat you? Shut up, Julia Wilco. Yes, I know your name, human female. No, you don't. You've got the name wrong. I'm not married yet. No, from my temporal perspective, you were married a long time ago, and 7 months after your wedding, you gave birth to a son who dared to interfere with our plans to take possession of a powerful weapon, the Star Generator. And so it's up to us, PATME, to correct this little failure in the past and make sure that no Wilco is ever going to harm the Syrian Empire. But I haven't done anything yet. I am not even a mother yet. And I am going to make sure that this status will never change. You're quite intimidated by this guy who is definitely not a person to be trifled with. You can hardly believe what he just said, but he managed to give you a real scare. You remember what your Starfleet instructor... Starfleet taught you for such situations. Not StarCon, Starfleet. Using your last bit of mental power, you stay calm and try to learn as much as possible about your opponent. And they have sent you alone on such a dangerous mission? Of course not. PATME is a squad of 3. My first officer, who became a little too career-obsessed, which is why I manipulated his eye transporter to get rid of him. The higher you climb, the further you fall. Ha ha. Then there's my second officer, who stayed on your pathetic planet to kill your even more pathetic soon-to-be husband. You know we went to play it safe. He will be back any moment. And then there's myself. What about letting me and my brothers out of the brig? Sure. The Syrian special agent presses a button on the console next to the door. The laser bars disappear. You triumph inside and walk towards freedom. In the last moment, the agent presses the button once more, and you are locked again. The agent breaks into a sardonic laugh. Do you think I'm stupid or something, silly human? I am now going to perform a software update on my ship. When I'm back from the bridge, I'll surprise you with my answer. To what question? To kill or to sterilize, that is the question. To kill or to sterilize. What am I supposed to do now? I don't know, Julia. You are the strong gender after all, aren't you? Switching Larry's clothes would only reveal they are made of polyester. You put your hand on Harry's pants pockets and feel one of his lengthy, hard nuts. You pull it out and are now proud owner of a perfect walnut. A walnut? I guess I'm kind of relieved. Searching Carrie from top to toe, you reveal nothing. Searching Perry would only reveal that from all your brothers, Barry has indeed the longest nose. You open Barry's mouth and can see his one tooth of solid gold. You cannot extract Perry's gold tooth with your hand. No way, I'm not going to search Gary. He usually has wet his pants. Okay, you put the hard walnut into Perry's mouth. Whatever plan you've concocted, execute it soon before your brother suffocates. Alrighty then. You close Perry's jaw while the walnut is still in his mouth. You hear a cracking sound. Okay, this sound effect may have been a bit excessive, but you have successfully abused your brother Perry as a nutcracker. Small pieces of the nut are now scattered all over the place and useless. But you could hear another noise on the floor, which indicates the nut is not the only thing that's broken. I see there. You bend down and pick up Perry's pride, a tooth of solid gold. Don't let these laser beams destroy your dearly acquired belongings. These laser beams make sure that you won't leave this brig in one part. Really, let's test that. Nope, didn't think so. From here, you can only guess that this is some kind of drain grate. You would never hit the console at the first throw. Whatever you try, you can't open this chest while you are still trapped in the brig. I don't think so. No. Your set of teeth is complete. Okay, can I use it on one of these guys? The door doesn't respond to voice commands. The bridge would be a bit insecure if it were controlled by voice, the brig. Okay, let's give it a try. Give what a try? Okay, I guess that was there. You have revealed a cable duct. Okay, you start to tear at the pipe vigorously. Eventually you manage to tear it out. It turns out to be an empty conduit. It's a cable duct. Someone has brutally torn out the empty conduit. So let's try this. There's no need to place this here. Okay, you plug the tooth into the pipe. I have no idea what I'm doing at this point. Just as a note. Okay. Okay. You put the loaded blowpipe to your lips, aim, and hit the button. Very well aimed, Julia. I notice this guy doesn't insult her as much as he insulted the other guy. Okay. You burrow into the chest and find nothing of interest, except for a blue floppy disk labeled as Leisure Suit Larry 4. Don't blame it to Al's dog. What? You think it's a male's thing? Stuff and leave it where it is. Oh my, if only you knew. You don't want to lock up your brothers. You try to reach into the drain grate. Damn it, it's so close. It's like with a ring that used to fit, but sometimes your fingers just seem too swollen. What did your aunt recommend for such situations again? The pipe doesn't fit through. You put the pipe in your mouth. Yes, this would make a fine blowpipe if only you could find some kind of ammo. The door opens automatically when you get close. Okay, so let's just try walking out. This is the layout of the Syrian ship. According to it, you are standing in the hallway in the middle of the layout. On the right is the engine room. On the left, the bridge. Your brothers are located in the southern room. The brig cargo hold. The door to the north leads to the crew quarters. I just realized I might have to end this episode a little bit early because I just remembered that I didn't time this right. I have people showing up here soon. So I will end it here. I don't know what to say about this game. Just it's just weird. Maybe I'm looking at this in the wrong way, and that, the difference between her gameplay and his gameplay is just because they have two different personalities. But the fact that he wouldn't harm a fly, he's like, can't hurt the tree, can't hurt the squirrel, can't do this, can't do that, can't hurt this. And then she goes and literally uses a walnut and bashes her brother's tooth out with it. Really? That doesn't seem very consistent to me. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think this is, again, another case of me not feeling like this game really... I don't think it really has the right Space Quest feel. It feels like a good adventure game, but naming it Space Quest is kind of like clotheslined my interest in it. And I don't need there to be Roger Wilco. What I need there to be is a certain set of, a certain feel to it, And this just doesn't have it. It's really missing it, especially with having no deaths, especially with having so many pop culture references that are taken less of as a tongue-in-cheek joke, as kind of like a, hey, look at this thing, and if you recognize it, good for you. It's more of a, hey, look at this thing from that show I saw, I think that there's a little bit of agenda pushing in this thing, and I could be wrong, but it's just, I'm so sick of games pushing agendas and pushing somebody's ideology. People need to make games just for fun. Because you know what? The more you push an ideology in a game, the more that people are just going to kind of go, oh, like me. But anyway, thanks everybody for dropping by. Sorry for the shorter video. I will try and finish this before the end of the day. Well, I don't think that... We'll have to see how that goes. But anyway, I will try and finish it up soon, tomorrow at the latest, because these puzzles are super easy. They are really easy. I think that's another thing that's kind of killing me, is that a lot of these puzzles are just like, use 6 items on this one thing. The only Space Quest game I've ever seen them do that in is Space Quest 6, and again, that game was awful. But anyway, thanks again everybody for dropping by. Please drop your comments down below. Let me know how much I am totally wrong about how much I dislike this game, and feel free to subscribe, and that way you can kind of see how I feel about this one differs from later, or I guess since this is newer, earlier Space Quest fan-made games, and I'll kind of give you an idea of why I like those over this one, and hopefully you'll kind of understand that a little more. But anyway, thanks again, and as always, I hope you all have a great rest of your day.